Hey everybody, I am back. I just got back from vacation. It was so much fun, and we actually weren't. Monty was out of town last week, so for those of you that missed us for a week, it's episode 16. Boy, time flies when you're having fun. And even though I was on a cruise and I was out of town, I was still paying attention to the news and what's going on and the Democratic National Convention. I mean, I watched a little bit of that. It's just crazy what is happening in our world. And again, week after week, we say it. We give you the facts. We're not talking about being a Republican or a Democrat or being someone that should leave or shouldn't leave California. We just want to give you the facts. And for those of you that want to get out of California, you came to the right place because we're Terry Gilliam, Monty Feltz, and David Barry. We're here for episode 16. I know that was a long introduction, but it's great to be back home and back to work and helping people leave California. Good morning, Terry.
David, great to have you back. Great to have Monty back. I actually didn't watch a single minute of the Democratic National Committee, whatever convention last week. I didn't want to have to skip a meal because I knew if I watched it, I would have to skip a meal to keep from losing it. So I just let others tell me what happened there.
Monty, good morning. How are you? I've been watching your videos, Monty. I'm really proud of you. And Monty went to a seminar here in Vegas with me, and they were talking about doing videos and stuff. Monty said, "I'm doing it." And Monty, you're killing it with the videos. I love your content. You're getting straight to the point. You're giving out tons of great information like you do on our show every week. So good morning, Monty.
Yeah, morning. The biggest quote that struck me from that event was Rory Vaden, and he said, "There is no fear when the mission to serve is clear." And so I've shot those videos as quick as I could with value. What would bring value to people today on Instagram, on Facebook? So yeah, I'm glad you're liking them. I also didn't watch the Democratic convention. Um, Maybe not for the exact same reasons. Just there's too many other good things going on. People wanting to buy houses, and I hated to miss last week. We were in San Diego, beautiful San Diego, on our 2023 Leaders Club trip. It was for everybody that had done a certain level of business, top percentage. So that was fun, but I missed everybody, and I'm glad to be back. And it's a good week to be back. There's some good news to report today.
Well, how funny. On the Carnival cruise ship, they only have like three channels. So when I was in the room getting ready, I would just turn the TV on. There'd only be one channel. And wouldn't you know it, they had the CBS News reporting on the Democratic campaign. So, I mean, I was just getting glimpses of it. But somebody told me a long time ago, don't watch the news. Don't even pay attention. Live your own life and stop listening to the media. And so many of our clients and people leaving California, they think they're supposed to watch the news and supposed to get their information from different news sources. But really, you need to get your own information. You need to listen to shows like this that tell you the facts. And we quote the facts. We're not making this stuff up as we go. So I don't know. I think and Terry doesn't really watch it. And I don't think you do, Monty, but that's probably the best advice we could give is stop watching and listening to all of this other garbage, but get real facts from professionals that do this every day like us. Excuse me. But there is, unfortunately, with the media, I've been hearing that they're dropping the interest rates in September. And, there's a lot of buzz going on in the real estate world. And, Monty, you always talk about get in now. Don't wait until the interest rate drops and 5 million, 10 million, 20 million people come into the market and now you're competing. So let's dive right in. I know this was the longest introduction we ever did, but let's dive into what's really going on and how money matters when it comes to buying or selling your home.
Yeah, absolutely. So exciting news from Fed Chair Jerome Powell. He spoke last week at the Jackson Hole Economic Symposium. That was on Friday. His speech was definitely dovish. He confirmed a September 18th rate cut, which we are excited about. We've been talking about it, but he confirmed it. He said, this was his quote, "The time has come for policy to adjust. The direction of travel is clear, and the timing and pace of rate cuts will depend on incoming data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks." So put a little bit of nuance on it. He was non-committal as far as the size of the cut on September 18th. The market liked that confirmation, though, and they know that policy is changing and is going to begin to be less restrictive. So Powell explained that inflation has declined significantly, and his confidence has grown that inflation is headed on that path to 2%. That's the Fed's target. Always, they want to keep that at 2%. He also said that the upside risks to inflation have diminished, while the downside risks to unemployment have increased. So clearly, the Fed is more concerned with the labor market versus inflation now. On the labor market, Powell said that the conditions are less tight than pre-pandemic when inflation was below 2%, meaning that the labor market would not be a source of inflation. So bottom line is the Fed futures, that's what's predicting what's going to happen here, that continues to price in a 100% chance of a 25 basis point rate cut September 18th. They've got a 33% chance of a 50 basis point rate cut. The market's putting a 73% chance right now on 100 basis points of cuts by the end of this year. So that's news right there. Everybody's been talking about this one cut and there's going to be cuts next year, but now those Fed futures are saying that there's a 73% chance of this not being the only cut, there being future cuts and us hitting 100 basis points of cuts by the end of the year. That would mean that there has to be 50 basis points at least at one of the next 3 meetings. The market's also pricing in another 125 basis points of cuts in 2025. That would be 225 basis points in total between this year and next year. And that would bring the Fed funds rate down to 3.125%, which would still be above inflation. So that was a lot, but that is exciting news. It's what we've all been waiting for. And to your point, David, that's why people need to leave California now, go ahead and buy, because we're talking about rates going down. What we're not talking about, but is also related to this, is appreciation. Home values go up. We all talk about rates. Rates get dwarfed by appreciation. When you look at how the appreciation of a home matters in terms of what you're getting value over time, it's way more important than the interest rate, especially with interest rate being tax deductible. So any of that interest you're paying, you're getting that 1098 form at the end of the year, and you're being able to write that off on your taxes anyway. Same thing with points. When you have to do 2 points right now on a higher rate, or when you buy down points, that's all tax deductible. So we should be excited about what's coming. And I don't know how to say it any stronger. Please leave California. Please take advantage. Please don't wait. Do it now.
Well, Terry, I'm super excited. And, we've been waiting a long time for this. This is great news for everybody. And the only thing that I would say as an expert is don't wait. I would not recommend waiting till next year, because then it's just going to get crazier. But Terry Gilliam, what do you got to say back there? Isn't this exciting?
Well, of course it is. And I know that, as I've mentioned before, Google Trends, the term leaving California has accelerated in searches on Google. So I think a lot of people are looking to leave. And as interest rates drop, it's going to be an even better time to leave to buy a house somewhere else. The other thing, Monty, I wanted to ask you, I don't know if it's on your list or not, but I also saw that the labor board came out, or the labor whatever survey people came out and said that there were 800,000 fewer jobs created than they had initially said. And that has to go into Jerome Powell's thought. It's like, holy smokes, we're not creating nearly as many jobs as we thought. This economy is definitely slowing down. You've been talking the likelihood of recession for a long time now, and the data that's coming out just shows you. And by the way, how messed up is it that all these months they come out, oh, the labor market's great, look at us, and then 800,000 fewer jobs than they had initially said were created. That's just ridiculous for me.
Yeah, no, you're so right, Terry. The BLS is what you're talking about. That released their benchmark revisions for job data from March of 2023 to March of 2024, and that showed that the BLS overstated job growth by 818,000 jobs. That means about 1 in 3 jobs that were reported created never actually happened. So if you average out how much the revision would be on a monthly basis year over year, it would be a revision of 68,000 jobs per month, a negative 68,000 jobs per month. So on average, we saw 242,000 jobs created per month from March of 2023 to March of 2024, which now is going to fall with that to 174,000. That would have materially changed. Obviously, the strength of the jobs report pressured the bond market many times over that period. So we probably would have seen rate cuts prior to that. It's scary, really, that all of this data that the Fed goes off of for their monetary decisions can have this big of an error in it. The Fed's likely going to feel some additional pressure now from that report because they were behind the curve more than they even thought. I don't know if y'all remember, but I don't know if we even said it on this podcast, but at one point I gave the analogy of the Fed is driving 100 miles an hour at a brick wall and they're looking in the rearview mirror and they're saying that everything looks good because they're looking behind them and they're not seeing anything but clear road. And there's a brick wall coming up there. And by the time they realize it, they're going to have hit it. It's not the way to drive. None of us drive in the rearview mirror. We don't look at a back 12-month average of, well, what's our speed over the last 12 miles? And so that'll dictate how fast I go going forward. If a brick wall's in front of you, you're going to die. It's going to crush you. So it's embarrassing. I'm sure they are scrambling to put narrative around that. There's a few other data points that are going to go into their rate cut decision. Obviously, that's not the only thing. The PCE that's going to come out this Friday, we're going to talk about that too, that their personal consumption expenditures, that's their favorite measure of inflation. That's going to come out this Friday. So next Monday's episode, definitely one you want to watch. It's Labor Day. You should be at home chilling by the pool with a Mai Tai or a pina colada. And we're going to bring you the goods on that. But yes, Terry, very unfortunate, very embarrassing that the data was that wrong.
Well, and with that in mind, we have a slowing economy. It's slowing, as people have been saying, even though the data didn't show it. So now we know that it's definitely a slowing economy. The challenge is if they cut rates too much, guess what we're going to get back? We're going to get inflation back. Now, they blew it last time saying it was transitory. And they, again, way behind the curve on raising rates to slow down the economy. Slowing the Titanic with with an oar instead of the rudder. This time, if they cut rates too much, we're going to get inflation back, but we're also going to continue to have a slowing economy. And that's the stagflation that we had. I still remember stagflation from the 70s because I'm old enough. David probably remembers it too.
No, easy.
Yeah. In fact, David got off Noah's Ark, I think, when that landed many years ago. But stagflation is a killer for everything. You can't win when you have high inflation and a slow economy, and that's what we're trying to avoid. What's what they're trying to avoid here. And so they just got to be careful of cutting rates too much too fast. But as you said, with the slowing economy, interest rates will come down because they want to goose the market to entice people to buy houses.
Guys, every week I talk about, please like, subscribe, share our channel. We want to hear your comments, and our YouTube channel is growing leaps and bounds. We have thousands of members now on our YouTube channel, and it's crazy because Terry built his little Facebook community hoping to get maybe 200 people on his, we talk about that a lot, and now he has 300,000 members. We have thousands of members on YouTube, and we want to keep growing the channel because we know, especially during this election year, that there's going to be a lot of people that need information. And I have a little surprise for all of our members. I talk to Monty about this all the time, and we are now offering a free consultation for people that say, you know what, we're leaving California, but we think we're going to rent and we're not going to buy. So what we're willing to do for any of our members is we will actually do a cost analysis for you regarding rent versus buying so that you'll have the real numbers and you can see what it really looks like if you want to rent for the next 1 or 2 years and what that would cost you and your family. By the way, guys, my book got finished. I just wanted to share that really quick. I finished writing Freedom from Rent, Stop Paying Your Landlord's Mortgage. And I saw the timing is perfect because Monty just did a really cool video the other day on this subject. So Monty, before we leave, maybe you could share a little bit with our members again. I know we talk about renting versus buying. We're now offering this free service for any of our members that want to know what the numbers really look like, rent versus buy. But Monty, go ahead and just talk about that just for a second.
Yeah, well, I would say the Bible says there's a time for everything under the sun, and so there's a time to rent. There really is. And David, Terry, and I do not believe that there's no place for renting. There is. I've rented. I'm sure these guys have also rented in their life. Doing a rent analysis is the best way to do that. We can see what the cost of waiting is. What would it look like for you to buy now versus rent now? And it may make sense to rent, but you won't know unless we go through those tools and look at the metrics to see what's going to be the best thing.
Right. And Terry, do you have some parting words for all of our California members that are suffering? And is there anything positive happening in California, or they just need to go? What's going on in
Yes,
California?
a big positive. U-Haul is sending more trucks to California so they can help more people leave. How's that for a positive?
Well, again, I apologize for not being here last week, but we had a lot of stuff going on. We're back. We're ready. We're ready to work 14, 16, 18 hours a day, whatever it takes to help all of our California members get out. And again, I'm David Berry. I'm your host. This is episode 16. I'm asking you to please like, subscribe, share, comment. We want to hear your feedback. Your feedback is so important for how we conduct our shows and what information we give to you. So thanks again for watching. We hope you have a great week. And next weekend, nice 3-day weekend. Hopefully you'll join us next week, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.